Hello, chat, or whatever the kids say nowadays. Yo! This is gonna be a crazy stream. We're gonna watch some Puyo Puyo games in this Carbuncles corner. Do let me know if my stream is laggy. I have new internet and its upload is not nearly as good as the last one. I downed the bitrate a bit, but I did up the FPS compared to last time. Just tell me if the stream struggles. That's important. I mean, there's not really a way to tell if it's struggling right now, considering nothing is currently happening. I do need to hop on Battlefy though. Doing these tournament streaming is pretty difficult with one monitor, but it's not the worst. Alright, what's the first? Alright, here we go. I think for now I can kind of just hop in any rooms I kind of feel like going in. Seating seems pretty close. I think I'll stream this one. Not this one. I'm talking to myself. I talk out loud a bit too much. It makes sense in my head, but then when I like say it out loud, it's like there's no context. And you're like, what? You want to watch this match? I don't even know who Darnell is fighting here. I hope I clicked Spectator. Very good. And I'm just really glad to provide a very entertaining intermission between these streams. I do just making sure only the finest quality entertainment occurs. Anyways, this match is going to be Free Mecha versus Cooperi coming up. Let's be annoying. Gonna be super annoying. Why can you go sideways on this button? Alright, here we go. First match in the first pools. Holy crap. Alright. So starting off, both players are going with a little Alright. Cooperi's got the transition ready. Interesting interesting stairs transition there. That tends to be rough to deal with. Free Mecha has a GTR. Free Mecha, oh, risk it there, definitely. Goes for harassment at the wrong time as Cooperi is setting up their chain. Struggling to find the yellows they need. Setting off those, I mean, they didn't have a purple in sight, but still setting off those greens was also rough, but it was rough with the space they had. Yeah, Cooperi is, they don't, like usually you see players build sandwich, you see players build GTR, you see players build stairs. It's not too often you see other forms or just, I know freestyling is like a popular thing to do, and people really like it, but you tend to just see, I guess, regular chain forms. And just look at how this chain, like, I don't know. I'm struggling for words right now. Cooperi's taking another round here. Simply just kind of set off their chain as Free Mecha was just, I guess they're just struggling. Their chain wasn't quite ready. Cooperi with a GTR this time. Going for some attacks here. Not the worst. Oh, it's rough though. They definitely, okay, Free Mecha definitely won that dig there, but they didn't accommodate for the 2 layers of garbage in column 1. And because of that, Cooperi's pretty preemptive thinking, or just they're quick thinking. Let them take victory with setting off their full chain there. Sometimes speaking is just so difficult. Cooperi going for an attack, but Free Mecha is still in a great spot with that dig. He's gonna go straight for their full chain while Cooperi attempts another harassment. Not realizing that Free Mecha is completely safe with their chain. Free Mecha with a very nice 10 chain on that tail. Cooperi, unfortunately, not a big enough chain to outchain a 10. It was a good dig from Free Mecha, thinking ahead with the garbage. Seeing that you have the right pieces and just stacking in the same column to avoid any garbage consequences. Their chain was not getting covered up. chain building here. Just little one chains to clean up. Ooh, we got a power one chain. Doesn't send much, but Freemeka is very... The chain is a very tall state. Freemeka going for an attack here. But, ooh, no, losing those blues. That's gonna be... Yeah, just losing those blues there, that chain got really difficult to work with. Clean 10, yeah. Freemeka had a really nice tail there, just... Goodberry is definitely ahead right now. Oh my goodness. Ooh, we got a lot of power there. Only in the early parts of the chain though, but it doesn't look like Freemeka... Ooh, Freemeka barely gets the chain off in time. This chain is already looking a lot cleaner than Goodberry's. Yeah, really nice tail here. Gets a power... It's a really good 11 chain. Goodberry not giving up though, and giving a respectable power 7. It's a nice chain to build, despite... yeah, despite after like just quickly building that. But Freemeka's tail, that was a really nice tail. Goodberry might want to attack more. They seem to have an advantage when it comes to aggressive plays. Looks like they're going for chaining right now, though. Freemeka's just gonna simply setting off their full chain. It is a nice extension, but now Freemeka has time to really make sure their chain works. Oh man. Oh, the cuts on those greens there. Freemeka's definitely struggling with their colors. They're slowing down quite a bit. Right at the top. Okay, you're about to sleep. Talking about the Switch just blacking out whenever it feels like. Oh, that green's gonna be a little awkward. Oh, actually turns it into a nice counter to offset a good amount of garbage. Freemeka recovers their chain pretty well. Goodberry goes for a power 2 here. Ooh. Yeah, Freemeka, it's a lot of garbage. But it gets a simple dig down. When it's only one layer of garbage, it's a lot easier to dig. Freemeka with another strong tail here. Oh, yeah, Freemeka Goodberry just not quite having their transition ready there. Right now we got a pretty close match. Goodberry's in a lead. Freemeka's got definitely has a lot to fight with. Freemeka seems to be struggling a little bit with their transition, but that double yellow is going to help a lot. Freemeka with an awkward GTR. Freemeka goes for a strong 2-chain here. Actually goes up to a 4, but unfortunately that really messes up their tail. Just needs the yellows and blues, just too many pieces to need in that short amount of time. Goodberry bringing this to match point. I mean, I haven't really assessed much of what Couper's playstyle is. They go for a lot. I see them attacking really well, I see them chaining really well. I haven't seen Free Mecha too much on the aggressive side. Free Mecha with a strong transition there. If you notice the reds. The reds prevent the purple from connecting just quite yet. And Couper going with another aggressive attack, taking out Free Mecha and taking the round. That was a very interesting round. Couper's playstyle is very variative. They do a lot. They are, yeah. Free Mecha, definitely a powerful chain player, but just wasn't able to take harassments very well. Okay, what is next? Question is, what match do I look for now? You know, for being a round one pools, you don't tend to get super close matches. That was a good round. I mean, the seeds were one apart. I mean, from pools, I tend to see a lot of really strong victories. And Couper still quite behind on score, but they had a real good fighting chance. I just think Couper was adapting a lot more than Free Mecha was. Guess I'm gonna follow this match. Oh, this is what happens when I try to guess passwords. I should just wait until the code is posted. And if you dare snipe this room, anyone in this lobby, I will ban you. Alright, I'll hunt you down. Again, we're playing the waiting game. So, Puyo Puyo, am I right? Great game. Is my stream really running smoothly? I guess Puyo Puyo isn't the most, like, active game. Seems to be running well. Is it possible to hate Puyo Puyo? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen someone who just hates Puyo Puyo. At least I've never like met someone like that. I'm sure they exist. That's something I do find unenjoyable is waiting. But what can you do? You know, these players should just finish their games faster. Shaking my head. What are you doing? We need some Subway Surfers gameplay in the corner. Just can't stand looking at the matchmaking screen. The empty lobby. It can be annoying to the person in this lobby. You got this. 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 You got this.
Seen any rare bugs lately?
You got this. You got this. You got this. Oh man. This is what you like to call quality content, you gotta say. Stream weird dragon glitch tutorial? I mean, if there's literally nothing else happening. Alright, now here's the hard part. See, Dolphin opened on my main monitor. And that's currently being occupied by the Switch. So the challenge is, can I randomly grab Dolphin wherever it is on my main monitor? And I doubt it. That's like literally like precision while being blind. It truly is this moment where I just think about just how difficult streaming is. I mean, just the hardest part is always, what do you do in downtimes? What do you do in downtimes like this? Quite literally, there's nothing you can do to provide any kind of content. I mean, Dolphin is stuck. You know what I could do? I could just like duplicate Just mirror my displays. Okay, there we go. As soon as I open the game, I'm calling it right now, they're going to join the lobby and the game's going to start, and it's just going to be like me scrambling to delete Kirby Air Raid gameplay off of my monitor. I didn't realize I have to be playing this on my secondary monitor. Now I have to like configure OBS. Game not as good. Wait a second. Game is to go above. Set game. Alright, this is like Subway Surfers gameplay in the corner here. We're gonna show you how to do Weird Dragon Glitch Kirby Air Raid. And my controller is unplugged. Alright, are you ready for this tutorial on how to do the Weird Dragon Glitch Kirby Air Raid? Here we go. Alright, so the easiest way I've found to do it, go up to the Sky Garden here, bonk it, fall down, and then dismount while you're kind of, oh, didn't quite get it there. Kind of have to be specific with how you get your dismount. Alright, and here you go, bonk, go bam, and then we dismount, ooh. Okay, you see how it's like kind of angled like that? Now what's important about Weird Dragon Glitch Kirby Air Raid is that you need for it to be on its side. That is very important, alright? So we need to get it on its side. And it's a specific timing you need to get. No searcher, yep. I'm rooting for you. Yeah, I'm rooting for people as a spectator. Ban me already. And then we're gonna be like, blah. No, not quite. I feel like I have to dismount after I hit the ground. Or start dismounting. Alright, we hit the Sky Garden, and like bam. And we go like, oh, nope. It's a little angled there. We gotta do Weird Dragon Glitch Kirby Air Raid. That's not your normal Glitch Kirby Air Raid. Oh, there we go. That's the timing. Look what happened to the dragoon. I'm so sorry, chat, by the way. I have no way to see you right now. I don't know if, like, you're telling me something extremely important. Maybe, like, Carbuncles Corner got cancelled or something. Anyways, now we're just gonna... We're gonna max that bulk star on Optimal Stadium in 3 minutes, alright? You're not ready for this. Okay, we're getting Lighthouse. That's insane. I'm so glad we get good events. Do a little bulk. Oh no. I don't think it was worth it to bulk like that. Not quite enough glide then. Bulk it out. Let's take a look at our weird dragoon glitch. Oh, did it disappear? Oh. Actually, didn't know legendary vehicles could despawn. Just look at all that hype bulk gains. Who needs bulk glitch? Like, seriously, why is this taking so long? Like, is this just like the most epic match ever? Oh, right, I don't even have high item frequency on. We're playing like, this is like vanilla right now. Oh, why did that turn feel so powerful? I just felt like I turned with like so much speed. Yeah, what the hell? I've never felt so powerful turning in my life. Oh, I think I like just the right amount of turn and top speed. The problem is I have no boost, so it's like impossible to like move. I just want to gain some airtime. I'm gonna check chat real quick because something important could be happening. Oh no, we just got Formula Blast gaming. So true. Alright, I don't need the left side of my screen, so... No, not bad for 3 minutes. Oh my goodness, the game's finally happening. Hang on. Oh god. Oh goodness. Oh me. Oh goodness me. Oh my. What's happening? I'm fumbling. But it's okay because the stream is like perfectly set up. Okay. Here we are with Coopberry versus Dan. This is a pools match. Pools round 2 to be specific.
On your knees. Is it our turn?
Honestly, choosing these like games that take a while to start, kind of the optimal play. Anyways, I need to actually commentate. So here we are, Coopberry with, looking like they're going for Sullen GTR. It's not quite Sullen GTR. If you look at it, you see the yellows make the blues drop down. Not sure how they're gonna make the tail work. Going with a 3-chain harassment here. Dan rocking these stairs. Oh, but Coopberry on pressure right now. Coopberry actually setting up the chain in no reverse order, at least from what I expected. And they're actually able to... Ooh, they had an all clear, but they didn't go for it.
It's all your fault, eh?
What is this? I'm noticing all clears now. Coopberry again with going with this. Nothing more to say than interesting chain style. And I mean, just look at how it's working out. I'm under the belief that the more regular your chain form, the better it'll perform, just because
You ready?
I'm yapping. Coopberry setting up the chain, just how their tail worked there. I mean, it didn't quite work out. Like the purples and reds never linked, but just how it connected with the tail is just so interesting. Dan almost with an all clear there. That was definitely possible to get an all clear, but we definitely needed to set up for it. Coupe not bothering with an all clear, uses their speed advantage to take out Dan.
It's all your fault, eh? Satisfied at last.
Oh no. Don't tell me my internet died. What was the score? Was it 2-0? That was 3-0. Okay, back with part 2. Cooperi is at 3, Dan is at 0. Redoing the set. Or continuing the set in a different game. It's really annoying when this happens just because it's just always so awkward. Alright, Dan continuing on with their sandwich. Cooperi going with their full chain. Dan was too blind going for that purple. They definitely could have gotten their chain off had they not just stacked pieces to the left, because they needed the key Puyo for their sandwich at the top of their transition. Cooperi was definitely in danger there. Dan noticed that. Cooperi is at a very strong speed advantage right now. Cooperi going for some pokes at Dan. Very good time to do pokes, however, because stairs when you're it's just your transition open. It's really hard to recover. Dan digging out a 3 chain, but Cooperi pulling out their 4 chain. Cooperi delivering a nice 9 chain while Dan struggling to build off their chain. Dan definitely needs to not leave their transition so open. That is definitely the biggest struggle of stairs. I really feel it as someone trying to learn sandwich. Cooperi all the way at the top. Just a little poke from Dan. Uh-oh. Cooperi setting up some harassments here. Getting some follow-ups in. Dan with a very unclean on the last 2 columns. Cooperi goes with their full chain. Dan's gonna need a really strong dig, which they are able to recover part of their chain, but it just isn't. It is close, but it just isn't enough. Cooper bringing this to match point. I'm not sure how the players are going to settle this, because when it's in a part 2 like this, it's really awkward. Dan is definitely going too much into chaining. I feel like they need to go for more attacks. Dan definitely has some great chains. Actually, Dan leaving there having a pretty he's able to ooh, why am I struggling to talk so much right now? Oh man, Cooperi is a really strong counter to that. Yeah, just the problem with Dan's play there was that while Dan's sending off the chain, Cooperi just has as much time as they want to. As much time as they want to build up their chain more. Okay, it looks like they know that's gonna be awkward for the next few rounds. But anyways, yeah, unfortunate to see a clean sweep. Dan did their best though. But yeah, Dan was focusing pretty much only on chaining. They were not going for any attacks. And I mean, you can't only chain when it comes to Puyo Puyo, but yeah, I mean, good games there. Awkward little intermission. Okay. I always feel weird trying to talk about trying to just say like lower skill levels. I feel like I'm being so rude, but I was gonna say Dan has a lot to work on in their gameplay. I mean, not that Cooperi doesn't. They're definitely made a few risky plays. I say a few. They made a lot of risky plays. I mean, if it just didn't work out how it did, Cooperi definitely found themselves in a bind. I need to find another game to spectate in the meantime. Any round 2s that haven't finished? Uh-oh. I might only have one possible round and it's another one. Oh no, I might have missed it. Yeah, I did. This is rough. Let's take another look. Yeah. Act like almost. Wait. No, not no. Wait. Okay, good. I have a match to watch. Good. All right. It isn't then? I'm just following the same bracket at this point. Dude, I'm just following Cooperi. It's just happening to work out like this. Okay, Cooperi versus Marigio.
On your knees.
Let's see what we have coming up. In pools round 3. Kuberry again. Actually, both players doing some more regular type chain. I like to see it. Ryu doesn't have a transition ready, unfortunately. It's gonna make it difficult to build up the chain. Ryu actually is saying no to any transition entirely and sets off the first floor. Kuberry does see it coming and sets off their full chain. Beats Meridios, takes the first round. Okay, yeah, Marigo definitely not building up their, not building any kind of transition. Choosing to go for some attacks, but Kuberry really a strong chain, but doesn't quite connect. Don't have any tail, but it's still enough to outchain what Marigio had. It's definitely gonna be rough for Marigio here, just because they don't seem like they build transitions. If they go for a much more aggressive and risky playstyle, though, I can definitely see them having a strong chance. I'm gonna go with a 2-chain on top of power 2, but Kuberry sees this coming, and so it's also a very interesting play. Kuberry's tails are just so... they just fascinate me. Just how it's set off is so unintuitive, and it just still works. Apologize if you hear background noise, by the way. There's some stuff going on outside. I am quiet. Let me fix that. Microphone volume is being turned up, and chance of hearing background noise is going to increase. But yeah, Kuberry taking a harassment victory. They set off their chain in bursts and kind of just covered Marigio a few layers at a time. Marigio going for what looks like GTR, but does not act at all like what GTR is. Marigio going with their change ends up being power 5. I mean, I talk about how Kuberry's changes fascinate me. I just look at it and I'm like, that is not at all as how I envisioned it working. But yeah, just strong chainer. Kuberry is a very all-around player. I just see them doing strong harassments, building chains really well. It's gonna be tough for Marigio. Clean 7 chain from Kuberry, and Marigio doesn't seem to have a chain of their own, unfortunately. Kuberry bringing this to a powerful leading match point. And I guess we'll just see how it plays out. Marigio definitely want to attack more, but Kuberry only with the power 4 is actually gets covered in a couple layers of garbage, but has a strong chaining plan. Switch falling asleep again.
Here's the love.
Rico actually not the worst digging opportunity here. Still has some resources to work with. Fighting for a purple. It's a 4-chain, but Cooperberry is just thinking ahead here with a strong attack there and takes a clean sweep. Oof. Yeah, it's always rough to see matches like that, but it is the reality. Yeah, I mean, if Marigo adapted, got some attacks, they definitely went for more attacks instead of focusing on chaining. They definitely would have been able to get a few rounds, I think. But Cooperberry is showing to be a very strong player. They can just do everything so well. They're impressing me at just anything they do. It's just wow. That was a voice crack. Wow. And now we're at a transitional point in Carbuncles Corner where we are going to brackets from the pools that we were just in. Well, guess while we're waiting. Tomorrow is the PC Carbuncles Corner. Just saying, I will be playing. However, if I look at how many people are currently signed up, there are 3 people signed up. And yes, that includes me. And I think there's a strong chance that it's going to get cancelled. So, it's gonna be rough because I guess that means if the PC one gets cancelled, maybe I'll play in the next Switch Carbuncles Corner. That's really hard though, just because I'm kind of a keyboard player myself. I don't play with controller, and you know, getting a keyboard up on Switch is difficult. I have some kind of adapter that kind of like converts the keyboard inputs into controller inputs, but it's a little weird. I feel like I have to play really conservative with my inputs. I just have to play really carefully using the keyboard adapter. I can't really go for any just like fast movement plays. It slows down my gameplay a good amount, but it's definitely better than playing on controller. But as a streamer as well, for these events, that also makes it harder to play in them, because I have a duty to kind of just stream as well. I mean, we'll see. It totally depends if the PC one gets cancelled or not due to having 3 people in total signed up. Or another instance of intermission moment. I genuinely wonder, just because there's no pools going on, I'm very curious. Will anyone on my stream... Will anyone on my stream join a private lobby? Let's find out. I'm gonna do the classic password. Seeing as no brackets seem to be currently made. I'm just curious, will someone join my locked lobby? It's very possible someone could just guess the password of it. Yeah, you see, I'm kind of streaming a Switch event right now. I wish I could do PC though. Okay. Estimation of 7 minutes, just saying. Hop in. Play some Puyo if you're on the Switch. My stream preview is... Okay, my stream is still working. My preview just paused, and I was a little worried.
Launch time.
I'm totally expecting just some random person just guess the password to my lobby. Someone who's not even in my stream. Totally expecting that to happen. I've heard people complain about people joining locked lobbies. Wow, my stream viewership is going up right now. There is nothing happening. How is it going up? And how is the viewership going up and no one is joining this intermission lobby? This pen I've just been fidgeting with is so broken. Oh my goodness. Okay. I just fixed it. See, this is what the peak viewership 7 people are hearing me say. I just almost broke a pen. Alright, this is just so peak, I guess. These people just like really like this. Because I'm epic? Thank you, that's kind. I feel touched by these words. Just oh, maybe I'll get more viewers if I just spam T-mote.
It's launch time.
T-mote?
It's launch time. It's launch time.
It's launch time. It's launch time. It's launch time. It's launch time. It's launch time.
It's so
launch
launch
time.
time.
It's launch time.
There we go, my viewers went down. I feel like that's just a bit more to be expected considering
It's
there's
launch
literally
time.
nothing. Oh man. You know, waiting, it's just one of the necessities in life. You know, often in life we find ourselves waiting. We find ourselves just sitting down, ready. Oh. Okay, I gotta find. Okay. Alright. Turns out if you just host a lobby in a stream, no one will join. Unless you're on PC. If you're on PC, then at least Celestial Squid will join. Maybe I should have taken a restroom break in this intermission. But there is only 6 people in this bracket. Seven. There's actually 7 people in this bracket. Assuming that entire time no one joined my lobby. think it's safe to say no one's gonna be sniping. Alright, well, Ruby Bracket has officially started. The game that I want to spectate, however, is not quite started. And we'll just have to wait precisely 3 milliseconds for the password, and then we can be annoying in the lobby. Wow, they are already here.
Been waiting for this. Let's do this. Sound good? Let's play.
Alright, here we go. Round 1, Ruby Bracket. Shiro Brawl versus CeeLo.
I'm here.
Okay, Shiro Brawl. Looks like they're going for a Sullen GTR. CeeLo. Some kind of mix of we got stairs, we got L shape, we got sandwich. Oh, we got an all-out harassment on Shiro Brawl, and yeah, CeeLo's chain not ready. Their transition was in a very just awkward spot. It was in a spot where you can't just like build on it with kind of the pieces you're getting. You need very specific pieces for a transition like that to work in that situation. CeeLo again, going for a different kind of chain form here. It's got sandwich, it's got stairs, it's got a tail. You know, Shiro Brawl is going for a GTR here with a, gotta say, that tail is looking pretty good. Alright, CeeLo going for a strong harassment there, but Shiro Brawl was able to set the chain in time. They were going for an extension, but in a pretty safe way. They were still able to get the full chain off. CeeLo had a hard time getting the full chain off. Shiro Brawl gets a 13. Do not see 13s often. Really clean chain. Has a nice tail. Ooh, CeeLo definitely being in the range of being at a chain disadvantage here. But Shiro Brawl is also a strong harasser, it looks like. Opts for a power on the one part, but it seems to not matter. CeeLo was very covered up there.
That was perfect.
Ooh, Shiro Brawl is taking a very quick lead. Let's see if CeeLo can adapt to Shiro Brawl's playstyle. Shiro Brawl seems to be very adaptive. Shiro Brawl going for a sandwich. Interesting way to mix that sandwich. CeeLo going a bit too all out on their chain setup. Shiro Brawl gets a nice 5 chain out, but a 7 chain. I straight up got the chain number wrong. Yeah, outchains CeeLo. CeeLo doesn't have anything extra built up. CeeLo in a rough spot. Shiro Brawl is very adaptive. Seems like they just have a really, they know how to play really well. I'm not sure how I can really express their play style without just simply saying that. And Shiro Brawl going for an attack. That's a very all-out attack, though. Yeah, CeeLo gets. Oh no, cuts the purples actually. Oh, Shiro definitely made a big mistake there, but Sivo also makes a mistake and cuts their chain. Always rough to see that happen. It's really rough when your opponent makes an obvious mistake, but you end up making a mistake that kind of nullifies your opponent's mistake. Just like a moment where it's just like, it's just a really good chance for victory, but yeah. I think I'm yapping. He was a pretty strong cast opportunity, but I just have to go for it. It's going for definitely very. Ooh. Gets calm 3 to bit, but that was 3 pieces of garbage. Siwa was playing very risky there. They were going for an extension with many harassment opportunities. Siwa gone for them there. Ooh. Shiro cutting into their GTR. Cutting in their GTR for that attack. Siwa lands a strong harassment, but going in for an attack. Oh, Shiro getting a clean dig. Shiro also with a strong tail here. Yeah, Siwa, their chain's just very behind Shiro Brawl's build there. And oh, I did not notice his match point. Ouch! A clean sweep. Always rough. I say this every time, but it's just always rough to watch a clean sweep. And you know, Seawill was definitely there. They had a very strong chance, but they really needed to adapt to a new playstyle to beat Shiro Brawl there, and that is really difficult. I mean, your brain always just wants to go for those chains, big chains. There's always more to it. Yet another moment where we're just having a high octane ongoing stream right now. We got the Spectator lobby room list, and it's gonna blow you out of the water. Just yeah. Streaming can be... See, it's so difficult to stream when you just... You know, I'm just someone who struggles to find things to say. I gotta say though, it is an absolute treat to watch these games and commentate them. I absolutely love doing it. Just when I'm doing a stream in this style, it's definitely less of strong content that I can actually provide. I feel like I provide the best entertainment when I'm actively playing a game I enjoy. Which, I mean, which is why I think I have a great time streaming Puyo Puyo while I'm playing. When it comes to commentating, it becomes a lot more difficult, and I can't help but feel that my content is lacking. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this stream it's a lot smaller than usual. Just looking at the bracket, it's less games happening. This is what I mean. It's so rough. Find content in these intermission moments. Bug Fable stream. See, I already played through Bug Fables, so like, just you know. And there was a point where I wanted to like do a ton of Kirby Ride streams, or just stream me playing Kirby Ride, but I always just tended to be in the wrong place whenever I wanted to stream Kirby Ride. I have streamed it before, and I know a lot of people stream it on VCs. I think I'll just silently join this room. Please be up. Okay, good. I did the thing again. I really need to use the restroom, but there's just a nice intermission period, kind of really just perfect time to just like, take a stream break, but instead I just want to yap about how I can't provide content. Play Bug Fables again? Ooh. It's, I mean, it's just like, Bug Fables might be too much to, just like, as it's like a very,
Battle with your heart. Battle with
it's just like, Bug Fables is like, might not be able to like stream it. Kirby Ride streams are awesome, I agree.
Let's play.
And I should do them more. Because I've been very lax on time lately.
Looks like it's my turn.
Wanna play with me?
Anyways, off in Losers Round 2, we have Lolo versus CeeLo. Alright, Lolo with GTR, CeeLo rocking stairs. CeeLo's gonna struggle with their transition. No matter which direction they commit to, they weren't able to easily build a transition. So Lolo takes advantage of that and simply sets off their full chain. Lolo with another GTR. Siwu going with some kind of long GTR. It's not quite exactly what I would think long GTR is, but... Siwu just kind of building up their chain. Same with Lolo. Lolo opting for a quick chain setup. Siwu's chain powering there. Well, despite that cut, Siwu's chain was still pretty strong. Yeah, Lolo definitely made the wrong play of just setting off their chain as soon as possible, just because... I mean, just so many things are possible during the time that you're setting off the chain. Siwu did just kind of set off their chain as fast as possible, but... Let's look how it turned out. Siwu outchained Lolo. That's just generally what happens when setting your chain off so quickly. If I were to have any input onto gameplay, I'd definitely say that Lolo should go for attacks. But looks like Siwu is deciding to make Lolo's mistake from the last round and chooses to kind of just set off the chain all willy-nilly. Definitely not going to work out in Siwu's favor. Lolo's able to finish up their chain and take out Siwu.
Good move. I'm losing my edge.
I knew I'd win.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some misplays here. Just general plays you generally want to avoid. Now, as not the strongest PvP player, I suppose it's not really my right to say that someone's misplaying, but I just gotta think about my current knowledge. I mean, Siwu is pretty tall with their chain there, but their chain doesn't quite connect to their tail. And Lolo is actually struggling a lot. Unable to get that purple they need to set off their chain. Seems like it's possible Lolo was committing to a harassment. I wasn't looking too closely, I kind of switched to looking at Siwu's board. Anyways, Lolo going with GTR. Siwu with... Again with the difficult chain forms to recognize. Keep it up. Lolo goes for a small little poke there, but Siwu offsets most of it. I mean, it's kind of bound to happen. And Lolo mixing it up with a harassment. He's definitely playing very passive earlier. Wasn't the aggression. We'll need to outchain Siwu here. He's struggling to find the red. Gets the green, but doesn't quite connect to a +1 link. And actually ends up not working out. Lolo definitely needed a few more extensions there, but they didn't really... They just had a rough extension at the point of the chain they were at. Siwu with a little lead here. Lolo getting a perfect piece to finish up their transition quickly. And Lolo going for an attack. Siwu on the most comfortable spot. It's gonna clean up some pieces. And Lolo doing a nice extension there with the... They just saw they were getting really nice pieces and were able to Get a strong extension there and outchain Seawell pretty strong here. It's a nice 12 chain. That was that was a pretty long round. There was a lot of just time spent on chain building. And just from that, I feel like I can say that Lolo was a better chainer than Seawell. But at the same time, Lolo is still susceptible to mistakes. So I feel like Lolo needs to mix in some harassments if they want to consistently win against Seawell. Seawell is playing very passively as well.
Awesome.
Seawell going pretty risky with the extension, but which ends up working out in their favor. Getting rid of the set off the full chain, but Lolo has a strong chain. I actually ended up getting the same chain, but Lolo just had a bit more power to theirs. We were able to take the round. But just a simple chain setting off against another chain. Not exactly the most exciting thing in the world, but yeah. Like I tend to see most Puyo players go with a chaining playstyle. Lolo mixing in some harassments. Seawell 2, but Lolo's 3 chain beats out Seawell's 2 and ends up setting 2 rows. That is going to be difficult to dig out. Actually, Seawell finds something and gets a power 3. And yeah, Lolo just not quite in the situation to set off their full chain against Seawell's strong harassment there. Seawell, despite how like messy that harassment looked, Seawell's chain was still in a very good spot. It was still pretty easy to extend even if Lolo got their full chain out. Seawell going for a little poke. Lolo wondering whether to attack herself their full chain. This was their full chain. And Seawell is... Oh, those yellows cutting. Ends up cancelling out entirely what Lolo had, but Seawell is ahead in resources at the moment. It's the perfect piece they need to set off their remaining tail, and it is going to be enough to take out Lolo. It's rough that Seawell's yellows cut off their tail of their chain, but because Seawell still had a lot of resources and, gotta say, perfect pieces, Seawell was able to take that round. But yeah, bringing it to match point, Seawell... Now, despite Seawell's very passive playstyle and unique chaining style, they're standing a really strong chance against Lolo and is, I mean, they're the one at match point. Oh, but that is a killer harassment and Seawell's completely taken out by it. There's too much garbage to deal with. Lolo needs to keep up these harassments. This is Lolo's victory condition. Lolo is still a strong chainer. Seawell has definitely shown that they are very capable at chaining themselves, and Lolo cannot mess around. Lolo in a very tough spot with their transitions, going for another 3 chain. And ends up, again, working out, getting a follow-up. Seawell in a very close to getting their chain off, but not getting a green. Ouch. Oh, that was rough. I'm saying this a lot, but that was rough to see. Just no greens in the exact moment when you need them. Seawell would have had the round had they gotten those. Seal going for a double foot long. Seal is going crazy with their extension right now. Absolutely killing it. They're building really fast, but definitely losing a lot of efficiency. There you go. It's a strong attack here, but Lolo does get their chain off. Ooh. Seal cut their chain pretty bad. And because of that, they weren't able to outchain Lolo. Lolo takes the set. The odds seem pretty against Lolo, but once Lolo did some good attacks and trapped Seawill's strong chain, and Lolo setting off a chain after Seawill got harassment in that last round was their victory. Lolo kept their chain ready, and Seawill was not able to clean up the rest of the chain they had. And yeah, good game. That's as close as it gets. 7-6. Yeah, good games. There seems to be something you see pretty often called intermission. So I will be right back, and the stream will continue. In a little bit. I don't have much. Here I have. You know what? I will be back. Alright, I return to the stream. Is there a match up for spectating? That's what we want to find out. Looks like I just missed a match. I think I will just choose... I'll just preemptively choose this one. I don't know who's going to make it into it. Oh no, wait. This one's gonna take a while for someone to get in, actually. Wait, what? Am I looking at this correctly? I am struggling to... Nope, okay. It should be coming up pretty soon, actually. Actually, no. This match just started. Oh man. Difficult. It's always the hardest thing ever is catching a game. I guess I kind of have to. Yeah, this is the next match that will be available. So I'm gonna have to hunt it down. Or wait. I guess, yeah, this, either this or this match. I'd rather look at this match. We got a silly little intermission right now. This is happening a lot. But, it happens. Just, one of the things that comes with spectating tournaments. Well, I suppose my thirst is quite high right now. Might need to get some hydration. Stay hydrated, by the way. I sure do hope a match hasn't started while I was gone. Wouldn't that be a bummer? Okay, good. Oh my goodness, this is what my stream is, just me occasionally burping. Holy crap. Here I am looking at pro bracket while I'm bored. Whew. I found myself in deep thought. Indeed, quality. I sure do love the Spectator lobby. You know, quite the treat. You get some unique stuff, such as every current lobby hosted in Versus right now. You get this beautiful screen to the right that says match player, no entry, no entry. You can actually change that too by scrolling down and looking at all the different players and lobbies. And you can see how that's just like, yeah, I mean, it's just like, definitely play Puyo Puyo Tetris just so you can sit in the Spectator lobby. I gotta say, it's quite the treat. I mean, I might be losing my mind, guys. I might. Doesn't mean I am. Am I looking at the wrong? Wait. I almost had a heart attack. I thought I said in the wrong chat. Somehow. Heart definitely skipped a beat there. That was scary. So what happened? You'll never know because I don't say it. Oof. Lolo's knocked out of the tournament. It's from that match last time you saw Lolo play. Whew. Game might start soon, alright? Be excited, alright? Let's really just be excited for the possibility that a lobby might come up in the next minute or so. Give or take. I'm sounding a lot angry than I actually am. I'm actually totally fine with waiting. It's really not a problem at all. I'm just happy to stream these games. But on that note, hate waiting. Exciting. That truly just sounds like, you see how excited I sound when I say exciting? Like I know. But here we go, we are in, probably, yeah, it's at least a lobby. Ooh, voice crack. It was at least a lobby here, you know? That's better than you know what's even better than the Spectator lobby? A lobby with one person in it. Gotta say. Oh, there we go. This'll be interesting.
Remember to stay hydrated.
So true, remember to stay hydrated. Darnell is so real for that. But here we go, Free Mecha versus Darnell. We are here in Ruby Bracket. Losers round 3. So both players rocking GTR. Darnell making a smart play with the placement of that red as to make it harder for the chain to cut. Darnell goes for reverse their chain to more of an attack. Freemaker gets a stronger attack, however. Sets off a little bit of garbage. Darnell, I feel like they're struggling a little bit to dig here. But not impossible. Really all they need is another purple. It seems like they aren't straight just going for their chain right now. Free Mecha is building up on what they have. Darnell is Darnell's being cautious. And now they are going for their full chain. Free Mecha gets to level 3 chain. And unfortunately cuts those greens. Darnell taking the first round. That was an interesting round. There wasn't many attacks. There was a few pokes back and forth, and it was interesting to watch Darnell play so cautiously. I don't know if I've ever noticed that in Puyo gameplay before, but it seemed like they were kind of just waiting for the right opportunity. Darnell going for a... I'm gonna be honest by saying this, definitely a questionable play going for the all clear that soon. A 4-chain all clear is definitely a very questionable time for an all clear. However, Puyo only has a 4 versus Darnell's 5. Takes a lot of garbage. Seeing Darnell's chain efficiency these past few rounds, it's gonna be really rough for Free Mecha to recover. How little room they have.
Too bad.
And Darnell takes the round. Okay, we got a GTR, we got a sandwich, we got we have a lot of chain building so far. Looks like Free Mecha is going for harassment with those greens and yellows. goes for a power 2 and almost catches Darnell very off guard, but goes for an immediate follow-up, but this does not pay off. Darnell's chain is ready. And Darnell sets off a 9 chain. And Freemeka attempts to extend, but just isn't able to get it. Very close, but not quite there. Okay. Freemeka has more of a sandwich style transition from their GTR.
Yes.
Seems to be wanting to go for their full chain. Does exactly that with setting up the chain only in a way that they can with a perfect piece. Darnell kind of just has a lot of time to extend on what they have. And almost seems like they're relying on their ghost rows for their chain, and I always find that scary. I feel like you're in for a really big chain, but oh, just Freemeka just barely outchains Darnell there. Freemeka making the right choice to just continue going for their full chain, as Darnell, I guess, just was not in quite the right spot. And it's crazy to say that, saying that Darnell was not in the right spot for their chain, despite getting a 13, but I mean, Freemeka knows Freemeka is also just a strong chainer. You kind of just can't do whatever you want when you're fighting strong players like this. Oh man, the background noise is getting really loud right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's picking up on the mic right now. But oh no, Freemeka's chain cut there. Freemeka is gonna quickly try to recover their chain, but can't get the greens they need. 2 purples in a row.
Too bad.
Pretty rough to work with. Darnell has a lead, for sure, but Freemeka has shown strong chaining capabilities, and if Darnell plays passively... Okay, Darnell is going for a all-clear rush here. Oh no, Freemeka just...
Too bad.
I can only assume that was a misdrop. They almost had their chain ready. Darnell needs to stop getting away with these all clear rushes. We get a 3-chain all clear here. I'm saying here a lot. We got a 3-chain all clear. Freemeka in a rough spot, not utilizing much to create a strong counter setup, but notices that and chooses to just set off their chain.
Here we go. Spin attack. Homing attack.
Yeah, a 5-chain from Darnell. Freemeka gets a power 4, which just barely offsets. Darnell falls up at the 4, but Freemeka just isn't able to come back with. Darnell showing a dominance in chain efficiency in these past few rounds. While Freemeka can chain really well, chain efficiency is super important for fast play. But at match point with just such a strong lead, again, this is the biggest advantage you have when you're this ahead, is just you have more time to make risky fast plays, but it seems like Darnell's getting pretty punished here. They just got attacked pretty hard by Freemeka. that are currently trying to dig, but Freemecha is taking a while for this follow-up. Instead opting to set off their chain and actually gets themselves in a very, very difficult spot, and ooh, it's taken out.
Too bad.
Freemecha is definitely taking too long to attack Darnell again. Darnell is able to dig a little bit and take advantage of Freemecha being in a very weak chain state and allow them to take the set. Well, it was again. There's a lot of these sets that are just happening as a like really clear victory for one player, but it just ends up working out, or it just like at the score it would seem that the other player kind of got just crushed, but in reality they were standing a really strong chance. I just want to point that out because it just shows score really isn't everything. Just because you see like an 07 doesn't mean that the games themselves were really close and full of a lot of just twists and turns. That was a good set. I liked seeing that. Freemecha was a better chainer, I feel like, but Darnell had better chain efficiency, which allowed them to be consistently out-chaining. Allowed them to consistently out-chain for Freemecha. I'm just gonna follow Loser's Bracket here. We're gonna see a familiar face, is all I'm saying for this one. Oh. You know, at first I was thinking this tournament was going to wrap up pretty quickly. I don't think I just realized just how long these tournaments can run for. When you include a loser's bracket, there really becomes a runner-up chance. This really is a running, what am I trying to say? There just really is a chance for more games to happen. I mean, you just have a whole other bracket to work with. Everyone has a second chance, and kind of just that in itself doubles the amount of games that can happen. Okay, sorry, I was just testing my mic. Sorry if that was loud. Maybe hitting the update list button. Am I missing? Oh, there it is. And as you can see, here we go, Coopberry again. I feel like I've just... Oh! Oh, oh dear. Really? What? Is there a jump scare? Ugh.
I won't go easy on you.
That was weird. Anyways, back to it. Losers round. Is this? Yeah, just losers round 5. Here we go. We got Coopberry versus Darnell. We have seen these players before in the same session, so let's see how they fight. Coopberry is a much more of a freestyler type player. They don't follow any really common chaining patterns. They kind of just do what they want, and it ends up working really well. Coopberry going for a harassment. Darnell not ready, especially with their transition. It's gonna be a rough dig. Relying on a lot of quickly placed greens. Actually, Darnell doing a very surprising 4-chain. It actually has a very strong digging chance right now. Oh, going for harassment. Coopberry barely designs their chain to take those 3 rows. Unfortunately, it only has that much in their chain, and Darnell ends up setting off their what they had. And it covers up Coopberry. Darnell takes the first round. Darnell going for a sandwich, it looks like. Well, turning more into like kind of an L shape. Darnell needs to be careful of the yellows in column 1. With 1-1-2 sandwich, kind of just opts to set off their chain. Maybe making a questionable chain decision. Like, actually, just having a different mind in their extension compared to what I was expecting. Just barely has enough to offset. Darnell actually just giving up and stacking column 3. Darnell made an interesting chain. It's just not at all as I was expecting to happening, and I just continued to look at it, and it just continued. It just worked. There's nothing else I can really say. Anyways, Darnell, Coopberry just focusing on chains right now. Coopberry going for a pretty strong harassment into their full chain. It makes a lot of sense considering just how much Darnell's chain power do. Coopberry's Wow, Cooper's tail ending up just barely working well enough in order to upset Darnold. Cooperi kind of forcing Darnold to make a lot of decisions that instead of working in Cooperi's favors, they're still able to just chain really well. They're not just a one-dimensional player. They know how to attack. They know how to harass. Or they know how to attack. They know how to build strong chains. Cooperi going for a very aggressive plays here. And takes out Darnold again. Man, Cooperi is on fire with these attacks right now. Just the process of like cutting down your chain into multiple different sections that are able to hit your opponent. And they're just in constant ways that just makes it really hard to really do much. Cooperi's starting off with a 2-chain, but Darnold opting for their full chain against the 2-chain. But I feel like it's gonna work out in Darnold's favor there, is Cooperi makes the chain hard to extend after just a 2-chain. Again, I also think it's worth mentioning again just how Darnold going for GTR here while Cooperi going for just something completely different. You don't see this often at all. Small poke. Looks like Cooperi is hungry for another attack. Darnold simply going off with their full chain, which actually not quite their full chain. Possibly a purposeful play to give Cooperi very little time to work with what they had. They're definitely in a rough spot setting up the chain. I didn't see a clear path. It looks like Darnold is actually adapting to Cooperi's playstyle. Darnold is confidently setting off their chain where after Cooperi makes some attacks. Perhaps I'm noticing just how open Cooperi's chain is after setting up for harassment. Just how, or not open, just how unopen it is actually. Again, Cooperi taken out by Darnold's full chain. It looks like Cooperi struggles to... Cooperi's definitely struggling to build out their chain after harassing. They do a good job harassing, but if their opponent is able to get their chain off, which Darnold is able to do a lot. Yeah, Cooperi's gonna need to adapt to this. Possibly. I mean, see, it looks like Cooperi really has Darnold in their sights. Yeah. Once Cooperi lands a harassment, they are able to really just follow up on it in a really clean way. Cooperi definitely showing off a lot more of a harassment playstyle. While still delivering strong chains at the same time. Here Darnold plays the harassment in a way that it wasn't set up the chain. It does look like, oh no, not quite. Probably relied on that red there is probably why they didn't set off their chain. Very close to setting off the chain, but Darnold testing Cooperi's chain integrity. It's really interesting to see how Darnold has adapted just in the same game. Darnold going for some pokes. A little bit. Cooperi with stronger pokes, but Darnold doesn't commit to such a strong attack. And he's still able to set off their chain. But Cooperi does form their chain off in time. And just sets off these confusing but still working chains. Which their tail brings their chain just enough to outchain Darnold. Darnold definitely getting a little too comfortable simply setting off their chain towards a weak attack. Or weaker attack. Kuberry's attacks are not weak. They are really putting a lot of pressure on Darnold. Perhaps Kuberry's building a bit more safe from here on. Going for a 3-chain here. Kuberry's simply setting off their full chain after receiving a 2. And yeah, Darnold... Okay, so with Darnold's chain, it relied on being set off on the side. But there was a few columns, or a few rows that needed to be stacked up for it to be accessible. Could we bring this to match point? And this has been very... I just think this match is so unique in how I'm just noticing how the different playstyles of Puyo just change the outcomes of everything that happens. Could be going for a 3-chain, or 4-chain here actually. And Darnold only providing a 2-chain response. And Kuberry taking the set. Wow, what an interesting match. Like, that's just kind of all I have to say about this. Just like, a very interesting way it played out. There was a ton of back and forth in how the sets were being, and how the sets were going. Awesome games. Very good. I really hope the background noise isn't bothering anyone. Gotta say, it's bothering me in real life right now. Okay, what's next? I gotta be quick, I gotta be quick. I probably wasn't even close. Yeah. I'm not even in the lobby yet. Now, I know Void is a very strong player, but I've also been seeing Kuberry making really good plays, so I'm very curious to how this is going to play out. I have fought Void before. They... Ooh, a tough cookie. Alright, but yeah, here we are in Losers Finals. Kuberry versus Void. We got Fish versus Fish. Let's see. So we've seen Kuberry doing a lot of aggressive plays. I'm wondering if they're gonna experiment first with how Void plays and then commit to any kind of permanent kind of play style they're gonna stick with for the rest of the round. Void gets a strong 1-chain. Kuberry's chain got covered up with. Oh man. Ouch. Void is just on fire with these. Just a lot of harassments in a row. It's just that technique where you just cut your chain into different parts to make the garbage land just at the perfect times that it needs. Void almost getting an all here. But Kuberry gets a 5-chain. Like, Void is setting up for a counter. No, Void's simply just setting off the biggest chain they can make with their space. Comes at a 6-chain, but Kuberry's chain just isn't ready. Void's fast speed really outdid Kuberry there. Haven't really looked at Void's chaining styles. Seems to be a GTR. Void gets a 3 harassment here. Could very quickly builds up their own 3 chain. But Void is a step ahead and goes for their own 3 chain again. Void again going with another 3 chain, but Kukei just barely, just one row off from that purple from setting off. At the very least would be be enough to offset. Void showing strong aggressive capabilities. Kukei, I mean, I'm no expert, so I really don't know how. I really don't know what Kukei's victory condition here is. Because if they go for chaining, well then Void is going to harass them. But if they go for attacking, then Void is probably going to out-chain. Void is another interesting tail. Void's chain gets fairly close to cutting. Void just barely out-chaining with a very unique tail. Kukei not going on without a fight though. Brings back a 5 chain, but unfortunately 5 chain just doesn't beat an 8. Kukei looks like they're in for a rough time. Void's definitely on another level. Here we have an all clear start. And Void not respecting column 3 is just continuing to just build in it. Doesn't care. And this ends up working out in Void's favor. Kukei chooses not to tank the harassment. Doesn't use a counter setup to their advantage. Void's choosing to go for some kind of full chain. Kukei with again, this unique tail style happening again. Kukei bringing out a 10 chain, takes out Void. Really out chaining Void. Void's game plan is definitely foiled by Kukei's quick thinking and Kukei just being able to set up their chain. Here we go. Void setting up for harassment. It's a very big 2 chain. Ooh, but Kukei is a step ahead and he's going to set off a big chain of the round. Deciding to follow up. It's gonna be. Oh, Void does get the perfect piece. Perfect pieces they need, and does outchain Kukei here. It's enough to take out Kukei. Void with a strong lead here. It's looking really rough for Kukei. Nice switch, keeps on falling asleep. How are you falling asleep in these games? Void going with a power 2 chain. Kukei sees it coming. Sets off their full chain. Void counters with their full chain. Void has a pretty strong tail. Power 5 beats Kukei, and Kukei's counter setup just isn't tall enough to take a rock. And Void opting out for GTR this time. Void going for an attack. Kukei quickly decides to set off that chain, gets a 5 chain, and Void just isn't ready. And Void definitely getting punished for setting off a very... not their full chain, but... Void just getting... Yeah, Void just getting... I am struggling for words right now. Oh man. Sometimes talking can be so hard right now. Void gets an all clear here and doesn't even need the all clear to be at an advantage. Just a strong, very strong harassment. Completely takes Cooperi off guard. Okay. Void building GTR again, Cooperi again with this other type of chain farm. Ooh, Cooperi goes for a super risky harassment. Oh, Void just barely gets the last piece they need to set up their full chain. Cooperi needs to build fast. Oh, never mind. Actually, the situation ends up working out in Cooperi's favor. Void's gonna need a lot of purples. Actually, oh no. Yeah, Void doesn't have enough purples. Choosing for a very awkward extension and needing too many pieces. Those double purples would have been vital to Void's chain working. Cooper building a lot in columns 1 and 2. Void building an odd chain style, but it is something I have seen Void build before. If you look at how the purples and yellows work, you see the purple at the very top in column 1 is what connects. It's what connects Void's chain. Oh, Void. Oh, Void ending up making that work. Getting a risky extension with Void's chain. Oh no. Void's chain cutting, not giving Cooperi any time to recover. Void brings us to match point. And we got an all clear start. Oh, this might be interesting. Again, Void not respecting column 3. But again, I think I'm working out in his favor as this is Void's chain plan, and it is what they want to work with in terms of their chain. You know, Cooperi's put him in an awkward position, only being limited to a few columns. Cooperi bringing out a unique tail. Void's tail is going to be really strong to outtrain, and it is! That barely... Wow, how the colors just wrapped around there. Very impressive. But Cooperi not out of it. Void is very ahead on resources right now. Void kind of wasting some resources there for harassment. Considering how ahead Void was, I feel like it would have been very possible for Void to send a rush. Void does end up sending a rush. They're dying for a green, does end up getting it. Oh wait. It is working out with a very interesting tail. Wow! That's all I have to say for that tail. That worked so... That was a very interesting tail. Just how... It just used very little pieces on row 1 in order to just barely wrap around. Cooperi is not messing around when it comes to chaining. Oh, but Void, again, is allowed to make these risky plays just because they have so many rounds of leeway. And Void does end up taking the set. Well fought, Cooperi. I feel biased right now. I feel biased in favor of Cooperi, but that was a that was a great match. There was a lot of attacking, there was a lot of chain building. You kind of just got everything that Puyo needs. Good set. Anyways, this brings us to grand finals. Buckle in, folks. This could be a long one. First to 10s. First 10s are very long. Very long.
Let's do this. Sound good?
That is Mirage. What is that even like? Kind of a cheer? Is that? Alright.
Let's make this a fun
Okay. Ooh. Grand Finals, Shiro Brawl versus Void.
Let's
The
have
water's
fun,
fine.
okay?
Let's... Alright. Thank goodness this background noise. Alright. Wow, both... Am I going crazy? Okay, wow, there was a lot of just same movements there. Both players just almost looked like they were just mimicking each other at that point. Okay. Shiro Brawl going for a attack. Going for their full chain after Void sent an attack. He's getting taken out there.
That wasn't sweet.
They're definitely leaving their chain in a broken state after that harassment. Sugar looking like they're gonna struggle with the purples in column 3. Their 1-1-2 sandwich. It's just made awkward by that how they have purples. Oh no, they actually are making it work out with their how they stacked on top of the garbage. Sugar Ball barely getting their chain out. Void not in a bad spot themselves though. Oh, but Void just not getting the blue they need. Void actually had a pretty strong chance because Shiro Brawl's tail there wasn't too strong. If Void got just a little more... Void just got the pieces they needed. And honestly, Void might not have even needed to extend.
Here. Here.
Void going for some basic attacks.
Here.
Ooh.
Come on.
Not getting the reds they need. Shiro Brawl is getting payback for the bad luck that Void just got. Shiro Brawl not giving up though. Goes for a, he's going for some attacks. Having a difficult time getting to those reds. Going for continued. Ow. Oh no. Void just wasn't able to bring a strong enough counter.
Sweet.
Shiro Brawl getting away with a dirty victory. But it's also another way to show that you should just never give up. You just never know what could happen. Shiro Brawl going for a sandwich. Void has GTR. Gonna struggle getting. Maybe a little hard to get those purples working. And Void going for an all harassment here. This is either gonna land or Void's gonna be in a very bad spot. And it looks like it lands really well. Void takes their first blood. Or their first round. It's kind of a weird way to say round loading, first blood. Shiro Brawl rocking another sandwich.
Here.
And Void, they're going for a 3 chain. It's definitely not any kind of all out. Shiro Brawl counters with a... Ooh, with a 3 chain of their own.
Here. Come on.
Shiro Brawl looking to kind of like... Shiro Brawl is setting off their chain very reverse. They do not want to take any garbage. which makes a lot of sense considering how high up their column 3 is. Any kind of that is lethal. And yeah, avoid being ahead and setting off their chain while Sheer Ball is going for harassment there. Sheer Ball is going to get taken out.
Piece of cake.
It's interesting to watch Shiro Brawl set off their chain backwards though, and that's just as they tried to not take any kind of garbage where possible. It's very interesting to watch. Void's definitely on more of an aggressive side than Shiro Brawl is.
Here. Come on.
Shiro Brawl's setting up their chain in an interesting way to set up a 3, but Void is... Okay, Void is just setting up the chain. I thought they were about to land a really strong harassment. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Shiro Brawl not too close to taking out Void.
Piece of
Not really sure why they just set off their chain like that. Definitely had some time to extend. Shiro going for Soul and GTR. Avoid going for classic GTR. Shiro's transition's all set up here and ready to go.
here.
This is a set up their chain. Very fair against a 3-chain attack like that. They're struggling to find the blues they need for their extension. Just set off what they have instead. It's gonna be barely enough to offset. Getting 3 rows of garbage though. Very behind on space. Yeah, Sherville's gonna use their resources they had to make a quick counter. It's definitely the hardest part about just barely offsetting is that your opponent just is ahead on resources and they can immediately go for a big harassment that you just aren't able to deal with in any capacity. Sherville looking like they're setting up for a power 2 chain harassment. Mixes in a 3. Void taking a powerful hit. Void trying to get the purples they need. But Shearball is playing ahead and setting off their chain. Yeah, that is a rough dig. Just the placement of that red being above, or the red being below the green just denied it of any dig setups. Shearball is ahead, but Void definitely has a fight. And they a lot more aggressive than what Shearball is doing, but Shearball is making more. I feel like Shearball is playing more careful. They're just able to play off of what Void is doing really well. Like if Void sets off a 3-chain harassment, Shearball will set off a counter harassment that's just simply just a bigger chain. And Void just getting a little too greedy. Shearball is setting up their chain, but no harassments here. Take out Void. Void is simply too much on the greedy side. Okay, Shearball going well on the aggressive side with a power 1 chain. Void taking a poke. Shearball going for a very strong harassment, and Void just is not ready to take it.
That wasn't sweet.
Shearball now has a strong lead. It looks like Shearball is really getting comfortable fighting Void. I just noticed a lot of the times they're just doing plays better than Void can. Something I've been noticing a lot throughout this tournament, I've been really just focusing on the play styles of players. Just how different people play according to what the opponent is doing. And yeah, taking this many rows, Shiro Ball is left with nothing, not enough space to do anything. Void rewarded for their attacks. Shiro building another sandwich. Void building another GTR. Shiro going for power 2. Void is just barely ready with a 4-chain. This is a strong 4-chain. But Shiro Ball, again, another one of those things where just Shiro Ball's just able to do what Void does, but just in a better way. Void sends a 4-chain, Shiro Ball responds with a power 4-chain, which is just more powerful. She'll just send more garbage. So Shiro Ball's definitely this careful idea I've been noticing. Players will kind of just act according to what their opponent is doing. And whenever you're able to play this fast, this is a very, very viable way to play. All of your thought processes just go really fast. Shiro getting a surprise 4-chain with the Ghost Row. Void is able to set off the full chain. Shiro barely able to get their chain off. Shiro with an interesting way to extend on those yellows. Actually, no, they didn't end up connecting, but Void is barely taken out by Shiro Ball's chain. Shiro Ball's chain was like, it was almost as if it was just calculated to perfectly take out Void. Okay, yeah, Shiro Ball brings us to match point. Void is in a rough spot with how Shiro Ball is just... Shiro Ball just kind of knows Void like the back of their hand right now. And ouch. A rough last round for Void as Void just isn't able to get their chain ready. Shiro Ball wins with a huge... Shiro Ball wins with a huge victory. Yeah, I mean, still a spectacular game. I really liked watching Shiro Ball's counters. Well played. Well played. Are you seeing Void 8-4? Yes, you just saw Void 10-4. Shiro Ball is a crazy player. That was some crazy gameplay. I mean, it's like their responses were just perfect. I said this a lot before, and I'll say it again, but like, just whenever Void did something, Shiro Ball responded in a perfect way that just it's just a more powerful way. Like example that I saw and I remember was Void setting up a 4-chain harassment and then Shiro Ball sending a 4 power chain. That was some gaming. A response for every move. Yeah, maybe Shiro Ball just is Izzard. Perhaps Izzard made it into the real world and is playing competitive Puyo Puyo. But that was Grand Finals. And that means that Ruby Bracket is concluded. I hope you enjoyed the stream. This was I feel really tired right now, so no extra stuff after this stream, unfortunately. Do catch me tomorrow if the PC Carbuncles Corner happens. If it doesn't happen, maybe I'll just stream something anyways. I've been actually really wanting to just like stream. In my original Kirby Air Ride file for my GameCube, I have not 100%ed Air Ride in the checklists. I believe I've gotten 100 checkboxes, but I haven't gotten all 120. That's definitely a good stream idea, so if I'm feeling it, maybe I'll stream that tomorrow. But anyways, that's enough for this stream and this part of Carbuncles Corner. Feel free to check out Dusty's stream if Pearl Bracket is still going on. But anyways, that's all for me. Have a good day, and goodbye.